Hello all my Mayflowers, it's Ari May here, and this is a video that a lot of people have requested for me to make for a very long time, and the video that I've been wanting to get out there to you all for a very long time, but it's taken me a while. I know I promised to upload videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I apologize I haven't. I know I've been kind of lazy and really busy this week, but I promise next week on Tuesday I will deliver a video. This video is going to be uploaded on Thursday. I know it's a little bit late, but to make up for Tuesday, and there will be a video up tomorrow. But this is a video talking about my story. I'm going to tell you all about what led me to here, the stories, how I came to terms with being transgender, what led up to me figuring out I was transgender and all. Yeah. So, let me figure out where to start. Well, the earliest memory I have of being transgender was when I was a kid. I was 4 years old. This was in 2000. I was in preschool. And I was attending All Saints Catholic Church school, and I was in their preschool program. And sorry about that. My teacher was teaching all the boys and girls how to bow and curtsy. And when all the boys got up to bow, I didn't get up with them. But when the girls got up, I got up to bow to curtsy with the girls, and my teacher yelled at me and said, "Why did you get up with the girls when you're supposed to get up with the boys?" And I said, "Because I felt like I was supposed to." That's the earliest recollection I have of knowing I was different, knowing I always felt different, I felt like it was a different feeling. You know, when you're a kid, you don't really understand feelings like that, but I was just like, okay, I feel different, but I don't really care. I'm me. And so throughout my elementary school years, I just always wanted to do what the girls were doing. Whatever games they were playing at school, I would always want to play with them. I mean, yeah, I liked stuff the boys did too. Like, I always loved Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon. Still play the Pokemon games on my DS and still collect Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards. But, I always wanted to do what the girls were doing. I was always interested in what they were doing and what games they were playing. I'd always want to do what they were doing. And I remember when I was a kid, I did this just about every morning or every other morning. I would sneak into the bathroom, and I'd probably like 4 or 5 in the morning. And I would sneak in there before everybody was awake, and before I had to get ready to get up and go to school. I didn't go to school till I think it was like 7 or so. So I'd go to my bathroom, which was right across from my bedroom, and I would try on mom's makeup for hours until I knew everyone was starting to get up, or I started hearing footsteps. I would take it all off, and I'd run back to my bedroom and act like I was asleep for the last few hours. And I did that for a very, very long time. That continued for, like I said, most of my childhood, if not all my childhood. I remember one instant where my mom, she left one of her bras down on the couch, and I was like always interested, and I was like, okay, well, I want to try this on. And so I took it upstairs, put it on, and I put a big baggy t-shirt on, and me and her were going downstairs to do homework, so she would help my homework. So I went downstairs, and she helped me with my homework, and she asked why I was wearing such a big baggy shirt. And I don't really remember the whole story, but all I remember is we were doing homework, and I think I leaned over, and she saw down my shirt, and she said, "What do you have on?" I said, "Nothing," and she said, "Take your shirt off." I took my shirt off, and I had one of her bras on, and she had a look of anger on her face, and anger of confusion, and anger of just like, "What do you think you're doing?" So I begged not to tell my dad, because my dad, I'll talk about him later in this video. This video will probably be more than a few parts, by the way, so make sure you follow along however many parts it may be, whether it be 1, 2, or 3. But, I begged not to tell my dad, because me and my dad But, so she said she wouldn't, but if she caught me again, we were going to talk to somebody. I was scared to death, so I laid low for a while, and I was scared. It was a really scary moment for me. So, I just continued doing what I was doing in the bathroom, just trying on her makeup every morning and whatnot, or just about every morning. And then in 2008, we ended up moving to a new house. We lived in Nemacolin, Pennsylvania, and then we moved to Point Marion, which is currently where I'm still living. So we ended up, I think I was 11, almost 12 when we moved. And it was a little bit like, okay, well, we're in a new house, we're in a new environment. I don't really know, like, because they didn't have a door in their bedroom used to be 2 bedrooms, then it was combined into 1 bedroom, so it was like 2 rooms and 1, they knocked the wall down. So, like, they didn't have a door on one side of their bedroom, so it was a little, like, tricky to figure out how I'd go to the bathroom and try on her makeup and whatnot. So, eventually I figured it out, and I would go to the bathroom. I would bring her makeup back to my bedroom instead, and I would just sit in my bedroom and try on her makeup for hours, and then I'd just sneak it back to the bathroom. I remember there was a few instances where my dad would run into me in the hallway and say, "Well, what are you doing? You okay?" And I would just tell him I had an upset stomach or something. I was going to the bathroom. And he'd say, "Okay." And then he would just go back to his room, and I'd run in there, put her makeup back, and run back to my room and go to bed. By the way, Mom, you don't know any of this, so this is going to be all new to you whenever you watch this video. So just know that's what I did whenever I was a kid, and what the whole time we were living in Point Marion when I was in middle school. Sorry. But, anyways, what else? What else? Okay, and then I started getting a little bit older. After I turned, how old was I? Whenever I was in 7th grade, like late 7th grade and going into 8th grade, like a few of my friends that I used to go to school with, like they would just, we'd be joking around, and they didn't, like, it ended up coloring on my fingernails with, like, highlighter and whatnot, like pink highlighter, blue highlighter and whatnot, and I would just go along with it, and I would just act like it was a fun joke, and really, it was just like, okay, well, somewhat like painting nails. It's like, okay, well, I don't care if you do that. And then there was a few cases where, like, there was one time where I ended up painting my toenails, and my dad, I didn't know he was coming from work early. I was in the shower, and he came in the bathroom, and after I got out, he saw me, ran into me in the hallway, and had my socks on, and he saw I had my toenails painted, and he asked why they were painted and what was going on with it, and my mom brought me in, I think it was that night or later that week, and asked me why my toenails were painted, and I swore to them that one of my friends did it, when in reality that was me, and it was just what I did. And I took all the toenail polish off and whatnot, and then just like, okay, well, I got caught with that, so I'll just go on. And whenever I ended up going back to try my mom's makeup on whenever her and my brother wouldn't be home, and I knew they wouldn't be home for a good while. I'd try on her makeup and whatnot, and yeah, that's just, like I said, that continued for a very long time, into my early teenage years, and then when my parents got divorced, I moved in with my dad for a little while. That's a big old mess. My parents got divorced. My dad told me a bunch of stuff that wasn't true, and told me a bunch of lies my mom never said about me, and her family said about me. So I was furious at him. I didn't speak to any of them for months. When I did, I was really nasty, which, you know, I was only 13, I was 13 or I was 14, and just when you're a kid, most people go through that little rebellious stage when they're a teenager, and that was me. And just after a while, though, I came to terms with, like, I was like, okay, I know how my dad is. Living with him for a little while, and living wasn't the greatest. Lived with him and his girlfriend. I loved his girlfriend. I just didn't like him. He cheated. By the way, the girlfriend he was living with us he cheated on my mom with the girls, so it was a little awkward at first, but life went on. So I lived with him and his girlfriend for a while. I loved his girlfriend, but then after a while, she ended up moving out. So, and not too long after she moved out, I moved out, and then I went to live with my mom for another few months. And then me and my grandma got into a big old fight. So, cause she used to come over and babysit my brother. So, me and my grandma got into a big old fight about my dog I used to have, and I ended up moving back in with my dad for probably about a month. And then I went back to my mom's house, and I never left. I lived there this was in we're in 2010 now. So into 2010, I was living back and forth with my mom and dad, and then end of the year finally closed out. I was living back with my mom. Life was actually getting good. Oh, also, I'm going to rewind to 2009. I kind of skipped over that whole year. I was kind of talking about, like, trying on my mom's makeup and whatnot and everything, but into 2009, I just turned 13, and she was 3 years older than me. She was 16, and she said she'd give me my first kiss, but she had to dress me up like a girl. And I was so excited. I was like, oh. But, like, I tried to keep my cool. I was like, I'll do it. I don't care. So she gave me some of her clothes, and I went upstairs, tried everything on, and my cousins and all of her and her 2 cousins saw me, and it was a good laugh for all of us. We all laughed. I didn't care because I was happy with it. I got my first kiss that night from her, and then my cousin's girlfriend, this was probably about a month later. Me and her, we were playing some game, and every time I lost the game, I had to let her dress me up like a girl in a different outfit. And we ended up going, and then this was probably, it was August, and that was the beginning of July, so, I ended up, I'm going to continue this in episode 2. We're already at 10 minutes. See you here soon.